Hi, my name is Ray Palko. I am one of the registered dietitians here at Hutch. There are certain foods that can help to lower the risk of cancer. In the most broad sense, those would be all foods of plant origin, and most specifically, more of what we would consider a whole plant food. So meaning something that, when you purchase it at a grocery store or when it hits your countertop to start chopping and slicing, or when it's on your plate, it'll still look like something that lived somewhere in nature. Forest, field, farm, something that looks like plants. We really want to be thinking about that broad umbrella of all different types of plant foods. And something that's really important, we can get pigeonholed into thinking that we must eat certain foods. I have to have XYZ every day. But rather, we see the best nutritional benefits with broad and diverse diets. So definitely the plant foods, including all subcategories: vegetables, fruits, grains, beans and lentils, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices, and even for your beverages, tea and coffee are things that can help to reduce cancer risks. So we would really want to be looking at that broad list of all different types of things. I know that people generally always want a specific food, so I'm happy to throw out just a few great examples of food that is everywhere here in Washington State. Apples, blueberries, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. Those are just a few of the options that we would be thinking about. So in terms of any foods to avoid or limit, we do know that certain foods can help to elevate cancer risks. So we want to be mindful of these. We also do need to balance for certain patients going through cancer treatment. We've got to prioritize healthy weight status, preventing unintentional weight loss, and keeping nutrition coming in. So during the active treatments, there can be some space for a little bit of relaxation, but overall, staying mindful of red meat, which is four-legged land mammals, most commonly including beef, pork, and lamb. Really trying to avoid processed meats, which are any type of meat that is purchased and it's already kind of cooked or preserved, stuff like hot dogs and sausages. And we should all be very mindful of alcohol intake. Alcohol is not necessary for human health, and even what we think of as very small amounts can have some health risks. Whenever we have opportunity for greater variety in our diet, it is a nutritional advantage. Now, I know that some folks can fall into ruts and eat certain things day in and day out, and I'm not really too worried about the person in the rut versus the person with a bunch of variety. I'm thinking let's do both. And there's gonna be certain foods that you love and you're gonna have them every single day, but that doesn't mean that you cannot also have variety in your diet too. So if one of my patients tells me, I'm sorry, Ray, but I have to eat blueberries every day, I will say, that is wonderful, enjoy the blueberries, and where else might you put some other fruits in at different time points as well. So we can have our little rut in our favorites and have variety at the same time. In general, fad diets should likely be avoided. They're typically overly restrictive and not backed by sound science. There are many different fad diets that exist, and they tend to come in and out of vogue over the time. One current fad diet that feels intellectually smart would be the paleo diet. It purports to be eating the way that our ancestors did, and also says that the modern food supply is the cause of all of our modern ills. I believe there's a lot of exaggeration in that. I personally don't want to eat like my Paleolithic ancestor, because at the age of 45, I know that I probably would have died 15 years ago. And I don't really like to walk around dragging my knuckles on the ground. The agricultural revolution and getting grain-based products into our diets was a great thing, actually. And whole grains are very powerful at lowering colorectal cancer risk. So if any type of diet or diet strategy someone offers you, if it starts to feel like a board game, like you have to roll your dice and make one choice over another and you have to avoid certain things, that's a little bit suspect, and it would really be good to take some more investigation and consider opening up the diet to be more broad and have all of the healthy food options available to you.